everyone, welcome back. Today I am working on some tags, tea party tags, and I have this fun fabric, this lovely maybe a sky blue, the background, but then I love all the grunge and distress that they have on here in each of the different types of tea brands and things like that. So what I have done is I've glued the fabric onto this craft cardstock right here, and I just used my Fabri-Tac glue. So I put the glue down and then I spread it. I use these little finger savers from Dollar Tree and spread the glue out really well, and that way it doesn't show through the fabric in big clumps or anything like that. And then I've cut these down. They're just a little bit short of 3 inches wide, and they're 6 inches tall, and I will trim off and turn these into a tag. But I want to experiment with running these through the embossing folder just to add another layer of interest. Rachel had shown that over on her channel, and I really like the idea of that. And I've seen Tim Holtz also emboss fabric. So I'm gonna try, I'm not sure which embossing folder. I'm gonna look through my embossing folders, and I'm thinking I'm gonna try one with kind of a subtle pattern to not distract too much from the teacups. I did a couple different tests, and this pattern right here, embossing folder, is the one that I think I'm going to go with. I think it's subtle, but it still adds some fun little bumps to the fabric. And so I'm going to go and emboss all of these, and then I'll be back. If you haven't embossed before, it's pretty easy to do. You have to figure out your sandwich. So it's a little bit of trial and error, and depending on the thickness of your embossing folder. For example, this embossing folder here is really thick, you can see, and so I don't even need this thin die adapter for this one. I just use the base plate and then this cover plate here. But for this one, without this thin die adapter plate, it wasn't getting enough pressure as it went through. So the other thing that you can do is just mist. I'm going to do it off camera, but you really want to hold your spray mister pretty far away from your whatever paper you're embossing, and just kind of let the mist fall down onto it. I did get a little drop there, so I'm just going to wipe that up. The water is to give it a little bit more pliable on the paper so that it will come through. And then the other thing you want is you want the indentions. So you want the bumps to be on the back so that the bumps will come through the fabric and be on the top. So that's always tricky. And a lot of brands will put their name or something on the front, and that kind of helps guide you so you know which way to put your item. And you can also just feel this is bumpy and that's indented. And this is a pretty big one, so I just have to put that in straight, and then I just roll it through. rolling it through twice. And then you have your indentation. So it doesn't really take away from the teacups, but you then can have a little, you feel the bumps as you run your finger over it. You've probably seen this trick before, but I just wanted to share it just in case. You can find an old credit card or hotel room key, and I cut off an angle for a larger tag and then an angle for a smaller tag. And that way, when I cut them, they'll be the same on each side. And the little trick that I do, so I have the front of the card is facing up so I can see the word thrive, and I cut, and then instead of flipping the card over on this side, because the angle sometimes could be off, or at least it is for me, I flip the tag over so that the card, the thrive, the word is still on top, and then I'll cut. And then they look the same. So just a little tip there. Right? I have sewn around the tags, and then I also have I found some fabric that I thought would complement nicely with the blue on this fabric, and I've kind of turned them into little ruffles, and I am going to put these on each of the tags and add a little ruffle detail there. And I just think that's kind of a fun little thing to add. And the easy way to make these ruffles, and I can do a separate video on this, but you just, as you feed your fabric through, you just fold the fabric underneath the foot like that, and then let it sew, and then you get a nice little ruffle. And then I just angled the edges to kind of make it look a little more triangular shape. I've glued the little ruffle onto all of the tags, and I'm having it hang off the edge a little bit. And then I am going to hot glue these little pearls on here just to add a little extra something. And I am going to use my Lily glue gun. You can't get this exact color anymore, I don't think, but this is a Sure Bonder, and I'll link it down below. But it comes with a base, so once it warms up, you can use this without a cord for up to 2 minutes, and then you can put it back in the base, or you can actually just plug this right into here and not use the base. But I like having the base there. Here are the tags with the pearls hot glued on there. So I just put a tiny little drop of hot glue on each little spot, and then put the pearl on top of it. So I think I might add a little rickrack on here, and then I have to decide what kind of tag. If I want to do a tab, I have this ribbon here. I could do like a little ribbon tab. So I got to figure out what I want to put up there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.